Hey, 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 hey. All right, hi, what's up? Good, whatever time of the day it is. Is it the afternoon? I don't know. Is it the afternoon? Hi, Janet. Hi, Drea. Hi, Nikki. I like that it's just Nikki doing Nikki things because that's the most Nikki thing a Nikki can do. I'm so sorry. I'm still not doing well. I went with like basic beat because babes, I I don't know. It started with allergies because in Texas, it's for those of you who don't know, it's like it's flat here, except for in the hill country, and that's in East Texas. But it's flat. And so all winter and like the beginning of like spring, everything just like sits on top of the ground, and then the like pre-summer winds start to kick up, and then it's just a nightmare. Like you can't breathe, like because every allergen, pollen, like all of it, it's just coming for you, and you're just like so it started as that. Unfortunately, I have a few unseen illnesses, one of which I have to get checked out in June to finalize its confirmation. There we go. And then, but that makes my sick longer than I want my sick to be. Um, I'm like, I would like it if I were just like moderately sick. Like I don't want to be sick for as long as I'm sick. So excuse me for the coughing. This is the mug of the stream. My tummy hurts and I'm mad at the government. That's very true. It's 1:15 p.m. So you are, wait, what time is it here? I don't know what time it is here, actually, Fefi. I'm like, Fefe. It is 12:16. So you're an hour ahead of me. You did say EST and I just like didn't. I pretended like I didn't see it. Welcome. I'm in PA and my allergies are brutal this year. My black car looks green. Yeah, it's been rough. I like the way that I've been like sitting here attempting to like get any air. It was so humid. Like 2 days ago, it was so humid that like literally getting out of the AC would suck the air out of your lungs because like I feel like it was about 91 degrees with almost 100% humidity. It was just awful. Like I remember, and one of my main very unhealthy stem is smoking, and so I I was struggling. I was just like, ugh. And I was like, I'm just gonna have to like not do it because I can't even breathe. Like I'm getting outside. I'm like, so that was a situation. I've also once again had to learn the hard lesson of Audra, don't get boho braids. All right. It's not my ministry. I need to stop doing it. I just need to get like regular braids, curls on the end, regular braids, curls on the end, because y'all look at it's like there. It's so tangled. I can't. I could have hidden it from you and pretended to be like really professional, but one, I'm not well. So you're going to have to deal with like my, my deep, come here, baby girl voice. So I'm sorry. I get it. It makes no sense. I literally live in the west coast of South America. It's weird. It really is weird. But somebody told me, I think it was Lara, OKSAF on Twitch, had told me that you could look up Australia's time zones, and that's a whole other nightmare. And babe, I'm fine. I'm not going to look because I know it'll make me like lose it. Because I recently, if y'all aren't following Nappy Headed Ahoba and their channel, you need to. And if you're not in their Patreon, you need to. We watch Tiptoes over there. I have never, ever in my life, in all the movies I've ever watched, I have never had one do what Tiptoes did to me. A whole day later, and I'm Marco Poloing one of my besties in the entire world, and Perfectly Am on Twitch, and just like, no, okay, but here's what's bothering me about this movie, and like going through it, it makes no sense. It is the most nonsensical movie, and the thing that is really upsetting, the highest degree of upsetting, is that this movie has actual little people in the cast, okay? Actual little people. And for reasons, they have Gary Oldman just dragging around on his knees, and you just cannot handle it. You cannot handle it. Like, every part of you just like, you can't, because he's in scenes with little people on his knees. Like, he plays a little person, and you just cannot fathom who greenlit this movie. And the movie itself makes zero sense. Kate Beckinsale is in this movie. Like, y'all, it's very upsetting for your psyche. It like, you can't. I vape after 30 years of smoking, but it's supposed to be bad too. Have you seen Fume? Oh, I knew vaping was bad, and I don't do it because the devil I know. And I've said this before, like, I know what poisons are in one. There is zero regulation on vape. Zip, zilch, zero. They still haven't done it. On the juice, on the vapes, there's no regulation. And I figured that out pretty early. Like, when I tried to switch to that, I would notice that like my throat would hurt a lot from it, and it like immediately hurt my chest. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna go back the old way. But I generally, every summer, this happens every summer. Basically every summer, I kind of quit smoking because it's so hot. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then winter comes and I get right back into it. It's a thing, but it's a stim of mine because of the way that my mouth, like, if you really, like, if I start chewing gum, you'll see it right here. I'm kind of facing right here, but you'll see like I have a muscle from here, like TMJ, all clenching. And so I have to do something. I will break my teeth. And I've said this before, and I'm not kidding. I will break my teeth if I chew gum the way I want to chew gum. So 93 Run, I was talking about Tiptoes. I could not, like, throughout the whole, when it ended, I yelled. Like, I'd been in because we were doing movie night. I yelled. I had been like on mute most of the time, no video. I put my video on in the Zoom. I turned the mic on, and I was like, what? Like, I could not. I literally couldn't handle it. I was just like, this could not be how this movie ends. This doesn't even make sense. What happened? This movie was made for reasons. Peter Dinklage is in this movie, and there's no reason for him to be there. Patricia Arquette's in it with braids. There's no reason for her to be there. It's the wildest ride I've ever been. I could not. If I were to do a video about that movie from like Audra's perspective, like, listen, just it took me. I could not, like, Manda. Yes. Hi, hello from Poland. ASDFGCBBNM. Hello. I said it backwards because that's how my brain works. I'm sorry. Tiptoes was like, it was one of those movies that like, it made my brain like flippity flop. So I'm getting back into starting my movie Mondays, but I have to tell you again, unseen illnesses that keep me very, very tired. I know somebody would be like, but you stream on Twitch. I don't have to do anything for that. I just like turn on the stuff and I just play games and chit chat, and it's not really like taxing on me. Um, Peter Dinklage is so fine. I don't care. I'm like, Peter Dinklage is so fine. So fine. He's in my fantasy rotation. So like don't like he lives there. He does things. Things. Um Hi Irradiated Woman. Such a great channel. Love that Marxist beauty content. Listen, today I have a few things. I did have some questions from the Ask Me Anything. If you have questions as we go along, you're free to ask them in chat and I'll answer them. But before we do that, the first thing I did want to go ahead and say is thank you to my patrons and channel members. I had so much fun with y'all who were able to make it to the Made in Manhattan movie night last night. Good times. Back when J-Lo made movies, should have just kept doing that, boo. Should have just kept making movies because they were so good. I don't know what made you and what possessed you to think for any period of time that you should be a singer. We all know that's not your ministry, okay? And I guess you're a good dancer, but who cares? You should have, like, you left the Fly Girls for a reason. And I'm a Leo rising baby, so I'm not, you should have just stuck to the thing that you were good at. So, so I did that. But one thing I definitely wanted to talk about, which I'm going to hopefully, we'll see if I do this right today. We'll see if I pull this up properly. Is Bumble. So I don't know if y'all have seen this shit as of late. Ooh, it's gross. I'm like, ooh, it's terrible. So what has happened is that Bumble, for unseen, unknown reasons, thought it would be a good idea to have ads like this. They took out billboards, and it says, for those of you listening, you know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Excuse me? Excuse me, Bumble? Are you okay? Who told you to talk to us like that? And then they had a different one, and they've been talking about this on TikTok, which is why I've heard of it. Then the other one is a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Now, I don't know how to do all that fancy social media stuff where you can like go look and see how many people, but a lot of people block Bumble over this and removed the apps and got off the app. Bumble is actually the worst one, I personally feel. So these are actual billboards that they have put up. It looks, from what I can tell, it's Los Angeles because that's UCLA in the background. So they put this stuff up. They really thought this is a good thing. They really did. They thought, they were like, we're slays this. So I'm not sure what made them think that this would help them, because they recently also changed, for those of you who do not know, they changed the app from the fact that women had to like say something first, and men got all excited because what Bumble said was that women were saying that it was a lot of pressure. What they neglected to mention was that a lot of the reasons that women on the apps were saying that it was a lot of pressure, not because they had to make the first move, but because of the timeline that they had to make said first move. So like if you match with somebody, let's say on a Sunday, you pick a couple people, go to bed on Sunday, you wake up Monday, you're getting ready to go to work, and you've matched with them, unless you pay for the app, you have a specified, I think you have 24 hours to like respond, but you don't know how your work day is going to go. Everybody has different jobs, et cetera, et cetera. So there's like a lot of stress with you trying to like say something in that short period of time. And that's what really started, because that's one of the reasons I hated it back in the olden days. I tried to do like the friendship side of Bumble, and it's not friendship. It's not friendship. It's not friendship. And I'm like, as pretty as you are, girl, I just need you to understand. I'm Arrow Ace and I want none of those things from you, but thank you for thinking of me. Mm, thank you. Nikki, I'm not sure if that's the same Bumble. I wouldn't want to speak on it incorrectly. I could look it up, but like that's the thing. So on the heels of Bumble switching that around so that it doesn't matter who makes the first move, they then come up with these like shisty ads. Now, the reason that this is a big deal and like them saying, you know, celibacy isn't the answer, like blah, 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 is because I don't know if Bumble's aware of like the constant fear that women and people with uteruses are experiencing right now in a lot of different states in this country, but our bodily autonomy has been attacked. Like it's illegal. Celibacy might be the only answer for some folks, especially if you can't get all of that removed. Also, did you just like listen? This, you know, y'all know I have ADHD. Did you know that your fallopian tube's weight that it has like fingers? Everything I have learned, everything I ever learned about my uterus was just not even correct. It's very upsetting. But bumbling, be helpful if they told us the question. I don't F with dating apps, but that is truly bizarre. I've seen this before. It's so weird. I don't F with ring ring. Oh, it's the 4B movement. They have some things to say. Exactly. I feel for this. I mean, who thought Bumble cared about women, but still so men don't do better, women cave. Yeah. And here, I need to tell you something about the journey of celibacy because I feel like way too often, people look at celibacy in what I would believe is incorrect. I think the majority of people that turn to celibacy or decide that they're going to be celibate, it is a journey about themselves. Because when you are involved in romantic relationships, you're not focusing as much on what it is that you want out of life, who you are, and where you want to go, right? And if you keep dating people and having failed relationships, your focus is never on you. And sometimes it can be when you're like looking and being like, well, maybe the reason that I'm failing in my relationships is because I don't know me well enough and I need to get to know me. And the only way I'm going to get to do that is by like not engaging in any of that activity. Right. So like that's where my celibacy came from when it started. Because I just started being like, maybe I'm just like making all the wrong decisions and I'm choosing the wrong people. Do y'all hear my like poor nostrils whistling? I'm so sorry. Like, listen, I'm trying really hard, but I cannot breathe and I can't, just let me live. But with that being the case, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a good break from all of this. I'm just going to like sit back, focus on myself, focus on healing me. And I can't do that if I'm like constantly in a romantic entanglement of one form or another. Through that like celibacy journey is how I realized, oh, I'm ace. Because like I started looking, I was like, yeah, I don't know. And like we said, and I said, I'm never going to forget when we were all locked down in our houses and the internet was getting like mad thirsty. Everybody was out there horny posting, being like, oh my God, it's been too long. I need to get the going. And I was like, you know, I haven't thought about that at all. And then I was like, come to think of it, I don't think I've liked that at all. And then I had to go back through like every experience I had and realize like, oh yeah, the relationship was great up until the part. And then I was like, ooh, that's where it went wrong. Yikes. Actual billboards. Yet it looks literally like a parody. It does. Like the Handmaid's Tale is coming next. Yeah. Women need to vote. I'm celebrating celibacy for me. That's okay. My nostrils are also whistling. Yeah, yeah. Irradiated woman. They're also not even attached to the uterus. So a fertilized egg can accidentally float away and end up a lot of places, like implanted to your liver. That was the way that they don't teach us about our bodies. Because like even if you like the celibacy situation plus the fact that people aren't having children, because we're starting to learn a lot of things. Like when people started to realize that like you could lose your hair and your teeth and your feet grow and like all of these things that happen to your body when you're pregnant that just wasn't getting talked about, you know? Like people being like, "Oh yeah, I was like close to losing some of my teeth while I was pregnant." I'm like, "I'm sorry, did you say you were going to lose some of your teeth in your head? What?" Because they told us, "Oh, it's so beautiful. Pregnancy makes a woman beautiful." And even in romance books with breed kinks, they still like try to make it seem so gorgeous, but in real life, no. Um, ugh. Oh my god, that is so freaky. Your teeth, Janet. Like I used to jokingly call a human fetus an alien, and I was not incorrect. I will never, like, I was not incorrect. You are growing an alien inside of your body. No hate, no hate. Happy Mother's Day. But you are growing an alien inside of your body and it's sucking away all of your resources. So happy Mother's Day to you. Eat whatever you want. Happy Mother's Day to every mother who wanted to be a mom but just couldn't for whatever reason. Happy Mother's Day to all of those with their rainbow babies. You are still a mom, even if that baby is not here. Happy Mother's Day to every fur baby mom out there. And happy Mother's Day to everyone else. I just wanted to preface it with those first. I've been on a journey to figure out what is wrong with the uterus, and part of that was coming to the realization that no woman on my mom's side of the family knows what a normal period is. Yeah. Like, yeah, oh my god, it's Mother's Day. Does your immune system attack your teeth? Interesting. Mine will when I get real sick. Like the beginning part of this illness, because I also have a blood disorder. I had to be really careful with even just like how I was brushing my teeth because I had like this tooth right here gets really like loose and shisty, like these teeth will get like loose and weird. And so I have to be careful so they just don't fall out. Like these are my real teeth. But like if I'm not careful, they get loose when I get sick. And then I have to like be careful brushing them, be careful with what I eat, be careful with how I chew. It's a situation. And then I spend all my time going, trying to like make sure my teeth stay in my head. One of my friends ended up with a bunch of food allergies after her daughter was born, and another ended up with type 2 diabetes. Diabetes. I'm good. Yeah. Ooh, Feffy. Feffy has some kind words for y'all out there. Also, happy Mother's Day. If your mom sucks, I'm your mom now. So you're welcome. Hi, Steven. But yeah, I don't think that people understand celibacy when they say this because for most people, not all, but for most people, celibacy is a journey. And that journey is very much a journey of self-discovery. It is a journey of understanding yourself, your wants, your needs. And I think for a lot of people, specifically and especially women and femmes, although the gay men are starting to come out on the TikToks being like, listen, lavender marriage is for me because these men aren't worth it. And if y'all don't know what a lavender marriage is, somebody in chat say what a lavender marriage is if you know. But I think that a lot of people who go on that journey of celibacy and self-discovery, they also end up coincidentally joyfully discovering like, oh, even if they try to date, they're like, oh, ugh. If you do even the slightest thing, they're like, yeah, I don't have to put up with that. I'm out. Like the things that you would allow, like tiny red flags that you would let go by when you were like relationship focused, when you allowed romantic love to center your life, you will stop letting those things fly by you if you're celibate for long. And I'm going to say this, and some of y'all are going to get mad, but I'm going to hold your hand real tight when I say this. It usually takes like 2 to 3 years of celibacy, like real celibacy, like not dating. Okay. Don't fall off the wagon and onto some dick. So like it just takes about 3 years. And then suddenly you go on a date and that person says or does something, you're like, oh, I don't have to put up with this. It was nice. Let me pay for my own meal. I'll see you next time. I won't. But thank you for this. What is lavender marriage? Irradiated woman, two opposite sex homos getting married for companionship and to hide gay activities. It is exactly that. So it would, in my case, it'd be like pan me marrying a gay man. We would have a great relationship. It would be fantastic. We're benefiting from marriage, but like we don't snooze. Stephen, I love you so much because you and I, twin flames. Stephen said, I don't know what lavender marriage is, but the idea of spending the rest of my life with someone else makes me feel like ripping off my skin. Yeah, same. The very thought of it, I'm like, oh. Single since 2018 club. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, like, if I even try to date, I can't, because for the sake of making things easy, I'll be like, I'm aromantic. I'm actually a very romantic person. I enjoy a very romantic relationship. However, I don't like, and it's easier just to say aromantic, especially like out in public and out in the world and online, because people are weird and I don't like explaining myself. Yeah, queer platonic. Yes. Sounds good. It's like how Will and Grace were, except they didn't get married. And I will always hate that they ruined that, to be honest. Because that would have been a great time to show us the joy of those kinds of relationships. The way so many people I know see a red flag and go, well, could be worse. And I'm like, nope. Yes, because here's the thing. When you are celibate and you start leaning more into your familiar love relationships, your familial love relationships, and your platonic love relationships, you start to realize that there's like ways in which your friends and family, whether they're chosen or not, nourish you and care for you and all of the stuff. And for me, whenever I'm attempting to date somebody, which is very rare, if their behavior is in any way something that I wouldn't tolerate out of my friendship, why am I going to tolerate it out of a romantic relationship? So I don't. I used to tolerate things. I don't anymore. Like last summer, somebody who I used to refer to as New York, right? We were dating. This is what started the celibacy. We were dating. They were supposed to move to Texas. We had an interlude. And then I called them to be like, hey, or I texted them being like, hey, I want to take you out for like lunch or something. And they were like, I'm in Denver. And I was like, what the fuck? You moved? And you didn't tell me? So anyways, sorry to anybody who had on headphones. So after that, I was like, okay, that's enough. I'm obviously doing the wrong things. This was my fault in the first place. I should never have started dating them. But anyway, last summer, they contacted me being like, oh, I'm in town. And me being, a very vengeful person was like, oh my God, this is my chance to hang out with him and then be like, no, I don't want your number. No, I don't want to give you my. And I felt very like destruction, like I was excited. But then I was talking to my friend M and telling them, like, can you believe that New York is like trying to talk to me right now? And M was like, you can just block them. So here's exactly how that conversation went with New York. They were like, I'm going to be in town. And first of all, I was like, who is this? Because I had deleted their number. And I really wasn't playing games. I wasn't trying to be all cute and like coy. I was just like, who is this? And then they were like, New York. And I was like, oh. And they were like, well, anyways, I'm going to be in town. And I thought that like we could hang out. And I'm just sitting there like in between talking to M, and M's like, you could block them. So my response was at first, when are you coming? And then after M was like, you could block them, I blocked them. So I asked them a question. When are you going to be here? And then just blocked them. So that was fun. And now they're just going to like live their lives. Always, I don't know what happens when you block somebody and they try to respond to you. Does it say that you're blocked? Because if so, eat shit, New York. Anyways, New York was so damn messy. Yeah, I live with my mother, which is fine. I enjoy that for the most part, but sometimes like our communication doesn't go well. I hate that they are called New York. It's because that's where they were living. I'm sorry, they don't anymore, but they did, and so I just called them New York. So anytime I'm having a bad day, I think about them getting that question from me, being like, when are you coming? And then them attempting to reply and it being like, the mobile user you've tried has you blocked. And I just, and in, tourist season, no less, that I'm telling the story. It is tourist season. We are the scariest. We are the most dangerous. I find it funny that people just always count us out. They're like, tourists is lazy and likes to eat food. But yes, we will destroy everything. Scorched earth, babes. Do not cross us. I mean, it doesn't help that I have like Leo and Scorpio and Aries in my chart. Like, let me live. But like, I'm dangerous is what I'm trying to say. So meanwhile, I'm ace, very romantic, and also a hater, multitasking. Yeah. And so it's just, I don't, celibacy is the answer for you, especially if you've had multiple unsuccessful relationships. First of all, it is him. But second of all, the point is that it's teaching you that you don't have to settle and you should not settle. Period. No one should be settling for anyone. What is the point in that? There's absolutely, positively zero reason to settle for anyone. What is the point? Why would you make yourself miserable like that? If you want to make yourself like just put on wet socks. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you need a moment to feel miserable, please hold. It's my mom and it's Mother's Day. Okay, sorry. It was my mom confirming our meal plans. As it is raining, she's not interested in going or doing anything. So she was absolutely like, I knew it. I knew she was going to be like, it's raining and I don't want to go anywhere. But yeah, I think that generally the longer that you are celibate, the more that you get in tune with yourself, the more you understand yourself, the less likely you are to just get involved in a relationship with any old body just because we've been told over and over and over again, like, who's going to take care of you, a partnership in life, like blah 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 blah. But like, if you want to make yourself uncomfortable, like I said before, just put on wet socks. That's very uncomfortable. And the best part is you can just take them off and be like, that was enough. Now I understand. I shouldn't just date somebody with red flags because I don't want to be alone. Get yourself a cat, get yourself a dog, get a hobby. You can even get like a bird. I wouldn't, but you can. You know, I wouldn't get a bird because birds are, you know what I mean? Like I'm very much aware that like if if a bird could, it would. And not in a good way. So celibacy is literally all of the above in the multiple choice test. Like I just feel like it does such good things for you. And this is for everyone, regardless of gender. I think it does really good things for you. So then it make like for a lot of us, you become a healthier, happier person and you realize the importance of like a relationship enhancing your life, not making it miserable. I don't want to be with somebody who's making me miserable. That's ridiculous to me. It's just ugh. I'm 45 and live with my mom. It's because having two queens in one castle is rough. It is. You are correct. I am 44. I am also living with my mom. I love it. I'm sorry. I love it so much. And that's one of the questions that I have. Birds are creepy dinosaurs. T. Fuller gets it. T. Fuller understands what I'm talking about. If birds could, they would. I will never have one of those menaces in my home. Period. They're not going to do that to me. I'm going to survive. Because don't let like a weird asteroid or like toxic fumes. Because y'all seen that one bird that be... I'm good. Now, I had like one question and I want two questions. So I wanted to make sure I answered those, well, at least one of them, before I go on to the other little topic of the celebrity blockade. Sir, let me get over here and do like a modicum of what is my job. Also, hello to new subscribers. Thank you for getting me to 12.2K. Sorry I'm not impressive, but also this is who I am. On my channel, I do whatever it is I feel like doing. This is a hobby and not a job, and nor will it ever be a job. And I even if I made enough doing this with which to quit my job, I wouldn't quit my job. And I will tell you why later. If I remember. Somebody's gonna have to remind me. Sir, the question that I had from a member, wait, it's not that one. Sorry, I had one question actually, so hold on. Because I just do stuff like randomly. And I'm always exhausted. Okay. Here it was. This was from, I had two. I feel like Peach asked me a question. And I don't know what happened there. So Cindy said, what are your next small, medium, large goals in life? So small goal in life is... I don't know. Like a small goal in life currently is to get my route cut. That's my small goal in life, is to get my route cut. So that I can proceed to my medium goal in life, which is to finish unpacking all of the boxes from when we moved here. And then my large goal in life is maybe to get this channel to 13K subscribers so that I can just say that I have 13K and be the spooky bitch I am. That's all. That's all. It's all I ever wanted. It's all I ever needed. Yeah. That's all I want. And then the other question in that, there was another question in there. What do I love about living with my mom so far? Number one, she is a great grandma to my dog son. And she just loves him. She buys him coats. She bought him like AstroTurf. she she loves him. She wanted to like be frustrated with him, but she doesn't. I like being able to have dinner in one spot. I like hearing her yell at the television and like talk to it like black mamas do. It's really funny because it brings a smile to my face when she's like, "Get him, Thor!" You know, my mom does the whole thing. I love it. I live. Um, is your mom so cute too? Do you get it from your mama? I do. I do. My mom is so cute. Um, I think I'm taking her to try to get like another piercing. She's been on this thing where she wants like all of it, like her entire ear basically pierced. So I'm trying to do that. Do I have a next vacation planned? Not yet. I don't plan anything until I know certain things are in place. And the main thing I need to get in place is like getting my route cut. Because once that's in place, I can actually like make plans for my life. Because that's how my autism works. I can't move on until this thing gets taken care of. Do you have a lot of IRL friends? Few. Like that actually, like I would still consider Thorn, Feffy, like I would still consider all of them IRL friends. Because they are are in my real life and they are being my friends. Jen is a friend. Tina the Fancy Face, T Nappy Headed Hoba, Teresa from Teresa's Dead, Millie from Bad to the Brow. Like these are my real friends. But like if you're talking about here, like where I live, two. And I don't even see them. One of them, I love Trista to death. I don't know if she'll ever watch this, but Trista, I love you so much. I literally just can't go there because like, it's traumatic. There's a lot of trauma there. So I just don't go and hang out as much as I'd like to. But she's always been like, I'm willing to come hang out with you. And I'm like, my autism wants to make plans, but my ADHD hates it. I don't know what to do. Just show up, which will also be stressful, but a good kind of stress. I'm totes your IRL friend. Thank you. You are. Do I have friends from high school, young adulthood now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I hated high school with every fiber of my being. And if you were to look at my high school yearbooks, you would think Audra was super popular. It turns out I was. But I didn't like anyone and I hated it. I was in a small Christian town and these people were unreasonable. They would say, like, to me, they were unreasonable. Like, they would be like, why couldn't you get married and go to college? And I was like, why would you do that? And your focus wouldn't really be on your studies. It would be on being married. I just knew. I think that was when I had like my first meltdown was like senior year of high school. I just stopped going. Like one day I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. And I left. And it turns out you're not supposed to just like leave school in the middle of it. Anyway, I left because I was like, it's really noisy in here. I hate it. This is not the best part of my life. And that was it. I just knew that I was like, this is not the best part of my life. I hate it. Also, the friends that I did have, so freshman year, anybody who tries out for the pep squad, everybody makes pep squad. Like that's just, you don't even, like, I don't know why they have tryouts. It's because everybody who tried out, you make it onto pep squad. After that, it's like JV cheerleading and the dance squad. And so those you have to try out for and those you will get it. So all my friends were trying out for a cheerleader. I didn't want to. I didn't care to. I was like, no, it's fine. I don't really like people. And I can't imagine enjoying, jumping and having a good time in front of people. And they convinced me and kept pushing and pushing. And so finally on like the last day of signups, I was like, fine, I will do so. We're all like practicing together and doing all this stuff. And the way that it worked for you to make cheerleader in my school was that You did the tryout, and then everybody would stand in like a line, like all the way across, right? And what would happen is if you made the squad, like it was only 10 people were going to make the squad, and they would come up and they would snatch people out of the line, and the people who were snatched out of line made it. So basically, when you opened your eyes and you were still standing in that line, you saw everyone who didn't make the squad, which obviously sucks. I made the squad. I didn't plan on making the squad. I just did. So I then find out all of my friends who had been pressuring me and pushing me to try out for cheer squad were now talking behind my back saying I only made the squad because I was Black. I promptly disengaged from all of them, and that is why I don't have any friends. I was like, no, I'm good. And I think that they really thought that like I would get over it. I didn't. For the next 3 years, I just did not. They'd be like, hi. I'd be like, I absolutely cannot see you. Do not talk to me. You said some really heinous shit about me, and you did not apologize for it. So I hope you have the worst life. Meant it then, mean it now. So like that, I don't have any friends. Hi, Charcy. Once again, I'm not ever going to do picturing Daria as a cheerleader. Yeah, I just, like I had a lot of spirit or whatever, but I just like, by the time I got to senior year, I was like, this is enough. I'm tired. Hated it, obviously, but I do maintain friendships with a couple of the other weird gays I found there. I have one friend, one from high school. That's it. And we don't even get to talk to each other as much because she has 3 children and her husband's in the military. So it's just like hard for us to like be in touch. Well, it's a whole thing, but it's hard for us to be in touch because both of us, listen, I love her and she knows I love her, but I'm just like, babes, my ADHD has me forgetting everybody exists. Feffy, that part. They thought a Taurus was going to get over it. Bruh, I know. I to this day, I'm like, as a Taurus, my dislike of you runs so deep that 30 years later, if I see something bad has happened to you in your life, I'm like, that's what you get. I don't, I'm not like, oh no, I'm like, that's what you get. Yeah, it was like not cool. And that was like one of the first lessons I got in that, you know, people really just aren't your friends. They're your friends for as long as they don't get upstaged by you. And then I went on to make varsity 2 years in a row. So stay mad, hoes. Yeah, and that's the other thing is I didn't grow up in the US either. So I grew up in Okinawa, Japan. I came over here in like I feel like 5th grade. Yeah. It was around 5th grade when I got here, and I was so far behind, which is why I'm, you know, Team Kendrick all the way, preserving the cultural aspect of rap and hip hop is super important because people like me who did, especially back then, who didn't grow up here, I had to explore and understand the culture via all these different means, and one of them was music. So Team Kendrick, if we're going to have teams. But also, we have a whole other situation with the Block the Brigade or whatever. I don't know how to spell this girl's name. Let's see if I can find it. So some of y'all may have seen this. But this girl, I don't know what it was. I don't know what she thought was going to happen when she did this. This is what started the celebrity Blockgate. Like, we are now block. I don't know if you've seen it, but like Kim K has lost just a ridiculous amount. I feel like somebody said it was 9 million subscribers or followers or whatever. I'm not sure if that's true because why would I know that? And I don't pay attention. It could be thousands. I don't even know how many followers she has at this point because I don't follow Kim K. I never did. But this is Haley. And Haley, infamously for the Met Gala, which we're still all confused as to why they did such a thing. Like, why did you... The world is in shambles. And I understand that we need to have like things that take our mind off of the shambles of the world. But to have a literal Hunger Games Met Gala while we're like in shambles was just like, we were like, this isn't... I don't think you know. You shouldn't have. Maybe something else. Maybe like something else. Maybe. And I think it would have been kind of okay. Except she did a whole TikTok where she says, let them eat cake. It is the cake thing, Janet. I'm afraid to show it because I'm afraid that they're going to eat me up on copyright. Is that the word I'm looking for? Listen, my brain is made of potatoes on the best days, but with all this sick floating around here, she just does, like, let me see if I can, let's see. I mean, and the worst thing about this to me, one of the worst things, because there's multiple worst things, is that she looked gorgeous and she could have like done so many other things rather than say, let them eat cake in 2024, babes. So it's just like, baby, I don't know why you thought that was cute. Now she's over here trying to apologize. This is her trying to apologize after the let them eat cake situation because she is losing followers. And coincidentally, it started a block celeb situation. If you have been looking on Instagram from my understanding, there have been people saying that it's been getting harder to find the actual celebrity name now because they know we're trying to block them. All of these sites are that survive on ad revenue. And so we're blocking everybody. This is the fun part, Steven. It was in response to nothing. There was no response. She just looked fabulous for the Met Gala and chose to use that audio. Let them eat cake. And like looked amazing. She looked amazing. She was eating the fuck down. I'm so serious. She looked so good. However, baby doll, that wasn't what you should have said. And whoever in your PR team let you do that and said like, yeah, let's post it. Fire them. Absolute dog shit. Like we're living in this very weird alternate reality and all of us are just kind of sitting here like, like it's getting ugly out here. Like this Taylor Swift fans are actually blocking her. Beyonce fans block. And whilst I love Macklemore, and he has put out a banger, and he's always been socially conscious, let's not pretend he's the only one who's been socially conscious in music. Thank you. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate that very, very much. And for those of y'all just now discovering Macklemore, I don't know what to tell you. Some of you maybe weren't like around, but he's always been about that life. It's funny to me watching people be surprised. Like, did y'all not hear his music before? Okay. Has she made any effort to publicly donate to pro-Palestinian charities in the aftermath of this? And most of them have not. And this is what's happening. This is why we know that it's working, that the celeb block is becoming a bit of a problem. If you follow me on Instagram, you don't have to, but if you do, that I put a lot of different TikToks in my stories. Some of them are moving about what the world is going on in the world and all that stuff. A lot of the times I'm just trying to give everybody just like a space to chill and like get away from it, because I know that we're lucky that we have the ability to get away from it, but also I do understand mental health is a priority and a thing, and it's hard to focus on all the ills of the world all the time. It's not good for anybody, so please don't do that. So I'll put up some funny TikToks and whatnot. But what's happening is like you have people like Lizzo trying to be like, there's a GoFundMe. And we're like, girl, pay the GoFundMe off. What are you talking to us for? We're poor. Why are you talking to us brokies? Like, y'all have been, it's the same way Oprah and The Rock tried to do that. We're like, y'all have money. Why are you bothering us? Are y'all okay? Like, nothing has shown us more. And this started in 2020, where we just really began to understand like celebrities don't even live on the same planet that we do. I'm never going to forget that horrible Imagine song. I was just like, did y'all really think that your off key singing to Imagine, John Lennon's Imagine, was just going to like heal the world of the vid? Are y'all okay? I mean, the answer is no, obviously, but yeah. She was like, but Marie Antoinette. And I'm like, Marie Antoinette was a clueless 10-year-old when the quote was attributed to her. 10, you're a grown ass woman. Thank you. That's the other thing. It's like, we don't do enough to study history to like truly figure out like when they make these movies and stuff. And I get it. This is why I always say that media has far reaching impacts on us as human beings, even if we want to pretend like it doesn't. It does, because every movie that you've ever seen that featured Marie Antoinette, for the most part, that was popular, always featured her as being like basically an adult or a teenager, but she was none of those things. So even if she did in fact say such a thing, she was a child. And that's what would make sense that she said such a thing, because she wasn't an adult to understand that cake and bread needed the same things to be made. I don't know. Stuff like that is just expected. Yeah, most of these people are clueless, out of touch, no awareness of anything outside of their rich ruling class bubble. It is, but I think that it just feels like there was once a time where they just knew better. So like a lot of celebrities kind of knew better, like where to like butter their bread. And now she has caused it's like her whole thing. Like, we were already kind of watching this Hunger Games Met Gala happen and trying to be like, I'm going to just like focus on like the outfits or whatever and just like not really let it bother me because I'm just trying to have like a moment. But then they told us, they were like, oh, it's $75,000 for a ticket. I'm like, what? Excuse me? Did you just say? They're like $300,000 for a table. Like, I just started to I couldn't handle it at that point. I was done. I was like, please. Yeah, Marie didn't say it, is my understanding. Yeah. Quoting a beheaded royal that did nothing for her people and spurred the French Revolution isn't the clever remark on democratic society. Yeah, it was just it was just not good. People have been upset with celebs before the Met Gala, in particular with Beyonce, because she has said nothing and didn't condemn them using her song Break My Soul in support of, oh, Jesus. Here's the thing. I think we've been upset with them for a while. And I just think that we have collective we, not you personally, collective we will allow a lot of stuff to slide after a while. Do you know what I mean? We'll just like let this slide or let that slide, especially when collectively as a people, we are generally doing well, but collectively as a people, we are all generally doing poorly. As such, this is and has been getting worse for the past 4 years. And I don't see a point where it's going to get better. There's a zombie movie, and I can't remember the name of it. It was George Romero, but it was like zombies in the city or something. But they come and they take over this tower where the rich people are hiding from them, and the regular people can't afford to be in the tower for reasons because the regular people. That's what's happening right now. That is what's happening. And John Lennon was a hypocrite. Oh, Gal Gadot has been on my I don't like her list. Before I even knew this, I just knew she was a terrible actress. And so like as soon as I found out that part, I was like, oh good, that gives me like an actual reason. Cause I feel bad for not liking people just because I don't. And so I'm like, I have to have like a real reason to dislike them. I'm just gonna privately dislike them. Like, there's this girl at my work. I can't stand her. Has she done anything to me? No. but her vibe is off. And I can't explain anything other than that. Her vibe is off, and I don't want her to come near me. I don't like it. Celebrities and corporations asking us to donate to their charities is so annoying. No thanks, McDonald's. You can afford this on your own. Like even Starbucks is having, and they keep trying to like flip the stuff around. Like Starbucks is like trying to say that they're having to close stores because they're too popular. What? It couldn't have to do with like you trying to shut down unions. It couldn't have to. What? Couldn't have to do with your like horrible policies and supporting the big G. Yeah, and Met Gala tickets are $75K a person. That money could have gone to help people escape. Could have paid for food, for medicine, anything. People are suffering in the US too. Yeah. It's all over. It's the Congo. It's hell, I'm in Texas. It's the border. Like if I'm going to cry a little bit cuz let me just it's bad. That's really bad. That was so bad. Sitting in their huge ass mansions with bowling alleys in the basement and huge pools, sheltering in place. I know people are out here like losing jobs, getting kicked out, like getting close to losing their apartments because they didn't have a job because of what was happening. And then you still have people like the CEO of JP Morgan Chase saying wild ass shit. Like people still have that COVID money. Sir, what are you talking about? Nobody has had that money. I don't know who you think we are down here. But nobody was saving that money. And then they were like, and the spending wasn't what we expect because people had bills to pay. This is the same shit y'all said when George W. Bush gave us, is it H? No, yeah, it was just W. George W. Bush, there's too many Bushes, gave us like that stimulus package with the last housing crisis. And people were upset. They're like, people didn't really buy a bunch of TVs because people were on the verge of losing their house. They had to find a place to live. They had bills to pay. Did y'all really think that everybody was just going to run out with like any kind of stimulus money? Like these stimuli don't work the way they used to. When we're all losing our jobs and like our places to live. Like, what are you talking about? And we're all just looking at them like, if it's 4 years later and y'all are still saying this to us. You had bro at Kellogg saying like, y'all should try eating cereal for dinner. Where are we living right now that this is like acceptable for them to say to people? Also, cereal's really expensive. Really expensive. Cereal is stupid expensive, and you can eat cereal for dinner. Cereal is very expensive. Milk is also very expensive. Both of those things cost a lot of money. And do you know how much like cereal and milk you would actually need to be able to sustain like activity, any kind of prolonged activity? It's a lot more than you think. Oh my God, yes. And coincidentally, a lot of the imagined bitches are Z words. Yes, go figure. When people tell you who they are, believe them. 100%. Luckily, Mark Ruffalo, still good. Count on Mark. Amanda J. Ellen said she felt like she was in a prison. Oh my God, that was even, oh God. She's like, it feels like I'm in a prison. In your giant house? So this is one of those things where I just feel like, just generally, just be quiet, celebrities. We like y'all better when you're not talking to us. We have very consistently liked y'all more when you never spoke to us. And I know that Haley Bailey is an influencer, but at this point, I mean, she was at the Met Gala. So at this point, these people, these influencers are celebrities. I don't care what people want to say about that, but they are. They just are. So like you can, make your jokes or whatever and be like, that's not even a real celebrity. It is. They are a real celebrity. They're going to like celebrity events. And that, in my opinion, makes them a celebrity. You can argue, but like I'm not getting invited to this kind of stuff. So obviously I am not a celebrity. Like, hello. Oh, I did have one more. Hold on. I have one more Okay. So, Nine While Nine had a question that says, for monetization, getting compensated for live stream, what is better for the creator, the viewer watching it live, or on replay? Both. Both. Both work well. If you can be there and watch it, both are great. Also, thumbs upping a live stream really helps it. Because the thing is, depending on what time of day that I do a live stream, depends on whether or not it's immediately monetized or I have to wait a few hours. So you'll see some creators will like pull their live stream and then like re-upload it after all the monetization stuff happens, and then they like cut and paste and do whatever. I don't do that because I just don't want to. And then Miranda or Peach says, what has been your favorite video or live stream you've ever done? I have so many because like I've gotten to do live streams with my friends. I've gotten to do live streams with James and Robert Wells. Like those have been so fun and funny. I think they're still on my channel. I feel like they are. I'm like, I feel like that's a thing. I think each one is unique and fun and different in its own way. And I think that I don't have like a specific favorite because there's ones that I have absolutely loved. Like, let me see if I can show you all this because this actually makes me laugh. Because when I drop this video, so if you're a creator, I just need y'all to like realize, that it may not get its love at the time. I'm going to put it here. It may not get its love at the time, okay? It may not. However, this video right here, my charm video, I put that out a year ago. Now, right now it has 5.4K views. Please understand that when I dropped this video, it quite literally finished with maybe, I feel like between 200 and 500 views. I can't remember. It weren't great. It picked up steam because somebody started talking about it. And now it has a lot of views. So like, I feel like I like all of my projects. I enjoy almost all of them. I think the only thing I've really ever hidden on my channel is anything where I was in defense of Jeffree Star. I need to explain myself because I don't think people understand. When I say this, I've said this before on other live streams, is that he did such a good job of his rebrand. And it took me watching Beauty with Ashley to understand what had happened. And I was like, oh, snap, I didn't know all this. So I hid those back then. Like back then I was like, oh, I didn't know. My bad. Oh, disgusting. But I think when people do a very good job of a rebrand to the point where other people don't know it happened, like shit like that happens. But otherwise, almost everything that I've done is still up, with the exception of like just weird things where I was like, I don't know why this video is up at all. But otherwise, yeah. Ooh, Amanda, you asked on a YouTube tab, short version, describe what would be your best day ever. I don't know how to explain this, but as a Taurus, I'll just make it super easy. Delicious coffee, a nap. Wake up, more coffee, delicious pastry, a nap. Watch a movie while lying down, snuggled in blankets, a nap. Like all my best day, like it always includes napping, just like having nothing to do. My best day ever would just be able to like nap and relax and do what I feel like doing and like not have any obligations the next day and the day after that. Just permanent vacation. Paper Tape said, anyone feel overwhelmed about how terrible the U.S. is and how evil the U.S. has been to so many countries in the world? Like, I want out so badly, I just don't know where to go. Yes, but here's the thing. We are kind of trapped here. And it's not even about like papers and all of that stuff. It's quite literally just about things like accessibility. There's products and things that you're just used to having, things you're used to doing. I think it's very easy to say like, oh, I'll leave. But then you start doing some research and you start realizing that there are certain things that you would not have access to. Even if you had zero family, you didn't have to worry about that. You could just pick up and move. I think people forget that aspect of it. So we are in some ways trapped here. Because like if you have any kind of like food situations, like if you have very specific safe foods, it can make it different. Yes, I'm so glad. Land of the Dead. Yes, Nikki, that is correct. Cereal is literally a treat, fancy food now, right? A dozen eggs are over $5 CAD, 5 CAD in New Brunswick. A few years ago, they were 280. Yeah, eggs are hella expensive now. Oh, gee, we just have to raise prices. It's work shortage, inflation, whatever. We're super sorry. Corporations making record profits while the rest of us pledge struggle. Yeah, and the thing is, as soon as somebody starts explaining how all of this works to us, like that's another reason, like TikTok is bad because we're able to get information. And the thing is, even if the information that you see on TikTok isn't absolutely correct, it does spur you to go research that thing. Like I've done that multiple times. I'm like, is that true? Exactly. And that's the other thing, as Manda brings up, Manda is saying, I don't have the means to move. And if we all did, none of us would be here to voice change. And that's what I keep saying again, in these backward Southern states where people are just like, the women should leave. And it's like, okay, but even if we all can, these states would then have more power to continue going in this backwards ass direction that they're going, which makes no sense. Why would you do that? Why would we all just abandon it to let it just get worse? Because then because this kind of shit doesn't just stay in one spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to want to spread the word. They're going to want to make it happen everywhere. They will never be satisfied. Like, people are like, oh, Texas is terrible. Do you think that Texas will be satisfied with it just being Texas like this? No, they will not. I'm taking a nap after the stream, 100%. A radiated woman, that sounds lit. It really does. Like, my best days involve like multiple naps. Like, I had brought up before, because I don't know if y'all know this, but Deaf Noodles went on a little trippy trip. I think this might be the last thing I can talk about before I keep y'all up too late. And I keep myself up too late because, babes, I also need a nap. And I think I have a fever, but I'm like, I think I have a fever. But Deaf Noodles, apparently, it looks like, is still not on the internet. I'm going to double check. But it feels like he went on a little sabbatical. Yeah. I'll just show y'all. This is his page now. There's nothing here. So, Dash Noodles has decided I'm hoping that he got help, is what I'm really hoping for. I'm hoping he got help for all the issues he has. But watching him kind of self-destruct like that, I'm sorry, I had to crack my elbow. I'm like, that looked a little awkward, but I had to. There was tension building up in the bow. I had to pop it. But seeing that happen, and also, if y'all have not seen it, let me just bring this up right quick, because this is actually a really good video. The only thing that was missing from it, which I think a lot of people are often missing this from, it's this video from Paige Christie, The Disturbing Truth About Life After YouTube, Jason Nash and Deaf Noodles. Very good video. I think it's fantastic. Very well done. The only thing that I think almost everybody misses on these is that when you do YouTube for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, currently employment has still not caught up to this being an actual job to them. So you have that. Number two, most of us don't want our like internet lives being looked at. Like, you wouldn't be able to get a job. Like Jason Nash, who would hire him for the most part? If you were able to look at his internet presence, like, you would definitely not want him working for you. Um, and the same thing for Dennis, right? You probably wouldn't want him working for you if you saw his online presence. That would be very awkward, weird. It could cause issues. And a lot of places of employment don't want that. And it's why I would say, me personally, even if I woke up tomorrow and my channel just suddenly explodes and I'm doing so well, I can quit my job. I wouldn't quit my job. I would take the first and last week of every month off. So like 2 weeks back to back, whether it was paid or not, I would just do it. But I would keep the job. One, benefits. Two, I just have like steady employment showing that I've just like worked there this entire time. I don't think that anyone who does social media should, or like is a content creator, I just don't think anybody should quit their job. You should have a job. Just keep a little side job back, even if it's you doing freelance work of some form that is tracked and able to like put on a resume. That is what you do that. Because I feel like a lot of times when we're talking about this, we just continuously forget that however many years somebody was doing YouTube, it's just viewed as you were unemployed. It's the same way that they treat stay-at-home mothers. Like, oh, that wasn't a job. Like, it was a job. They were doing a lot of work, raising children. And then when it's time to go back to work, they're like, was that even a job? I mean, I know like you're raising the next generation, but like, pfft. So I think that people just don't really consider what will happen when social media isn't social media-ing for you anymore. And that is why I'm a huge proponent that you should very consistently and continuously like keep employment outside of YouTube. As long as you're on the books, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, who was Def Noodles? Def Noodles was a commentary channel who just kind of spiraled, just torpedoed his own career for reasons. No one's really sure what happened there. Even if you go back and watch what took place, it still doesn't make any sense. I just feel like he was like, I'm tired of being like adorable little Dennis. And he did a lot of messed up stuff. I'm not going to excuse any of the things he did, but I think he was like in this mindset of like, I don't want to be like, you know, the guy who wears cat ears and does commentary. He did like daily videos and he just, I don't know. I honestly, I can't really track why this happened to him. I don't know why he torpedoed his own career. At first, everybody thought he was just like joshing around and he wasn't. When people talk about how great Europe is, be mindful of their skin color. A black person's experience will be much different than a white person's. 100%. I've heard that there are places in Ireland that are actually very, very friendly to black people. So like, I want to go there. Like, I want to visit there. A radiated woman. Yes, I'm in one of the trigger law states too. I fantasize about moving sometimes, but I won't. I care about the people here. I want to do something for women, and this is where the need is. Exactly. Like, it's super easy to be like, oh, everybody should leave, but what good does that do? Like, we all leave, and then what? And then they gather more power, and they galvanize more people to have like their same beliefs, and then they just start trying to push that shit everywhere. I don't think so. Yes, this France can be very gaslighty in its racism. Yes. Also, multiple states have the same potential to become bad, so it isn't sufficient to leave one for another. At the same time, I understand leaving for immediacy. Yes. Here's the thing I'm going to say. Especially states like Florida, very specifically, are very harmful and hateful to the trans community. It's the same thing is happening in Texas. I completely understand parents taking their trans children out of here. Please do. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. We have to protect our like next generations of trans kids. We have to protect them. Just as we're trying to protect those who are here now today, like we must protect, because like this is a generation of kids that we're starting to grow up with an acceptance of who they are from the beginning. And having that kind of acceptance is what allows people to be able to grow up into well-adjusted human beings, and feel safe and comfortable and confident moving forward in life. So we have to protect our trans kids. We have to protect our queer kids. Watching other women agree with these horrible ideas and laws makes it hard to breathe. How can they agree to punish other women like this? Because you are a whore. That's that was fast. I'm sorry. Um, because it doesn't happen to them. That's in their mindset, it doesn't happen to them. If you're doing stuff like this, you are obviously a whore. You are living a bad life, blah, 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 blah. These people are like, these are the kind of people that have zero empathy for anyone else up until something happens to them. These are the same people who do not understand racism and systemic racism, because the way that they look at it is they can't see it. It's not happening. You're just making a big deal out of nothing. But if something were to happen to them, then they would care. They can't fathom and understand anything if it has not happened to them. That's how those people are. They just don't. So until something happened to them, and I would never wish this on anybody, but until something happened to them in a pregnancy where they were having a difficult time, they would not give a shit, right? But when it's happening to them, they expect everyone to care, and then they're gonna like blow up news stations and talk about how like they experience this horrible thing and like blah, blah, blah. And they're not gonna tell you, because we're gonna expose them on the internet like we always do, but they're not gonna tell you about their previous past, right? And then they get exposed. And it's just weird. Not that leaving means you don't care. Situations vary. I'm lucky to not be very vulnerable to the draconian force birth. Yeah, same. The main issue I think that I have with these laws is that it is a declaration of open season on women. And by that, I mean that you can, as a man, or people with uteruses, let me change that. I apologize. People with uterus, is that this means that men can SA people with uteruses and then force them to carry a child in a lot of these states that are doing this. That's what it means. Like, for all intents and purposes. That doesn't even include all of the horrible things that they do to children, like all of that. This means that men can use children to force you to stay tied with them when you no longer want to be with them. And it's not like that doesn't happen already, but this would be on a different scale because there are no exceptions for things like that. So you could break up with somebody, not want to be with them, and then they can SA you, and you can end up with child, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's currently a case happening where a man is attempting to sue a woman because she left the state to all of that. Like people in jail, people in border detention centers, kids in juvenile foster care, they are stuck, and being poor also makes you stuck because it costs money to move. Yeah. And with immigrating to a new country, you have to consider if you are able to. A lot of countries have rules for disability. 100% that. There's rules about disability. There's also the realization that like wherever you move to, you need to know the language. Like it boggles my mind the way people think that they can just go somewhere. Like, yes, it's English worldwide. Yes, but also you should know the language of wherever it is you're going to. But don't think that that place is significantly better because they don't have this, because there's going to be pros and cons everywhere you go. True, while many have no options, there are some marginalized people who still have the financial option to flee for safety, and I can't blame them. Yeah. Those BuzzFeed peeps like to torpedo careers. Yeah. So, like, we are living in a weird timeline. I don't know what to do about it other than, like, share jokes and good times and, like, make us laugh from time to time. Because, I mean, I'm one of the people who, honestly, I cannot be inundated every single day. I just can't. It'll like break me down in ways I'm not prepared to be broken down. I'm never prepared to be broken down. Like I've been on the verge of tears for like most of the stream. I really couldn't tell you why. I don't understand my emotions, but somebody's going to be like, you're so real for that. I don't understand my emotions and why they work like this, but I've literally been on the verge of tears since it started. I don't know why I'm trying to cry. I can't tell you what the problem is, but that's also why I try not to like see too much of all of the horrors of the world, because I don't know when my emotions are going to catch up with me. So, it's a wild world. It's a rough time. I'm over on Twitch oftentimes, usually not a long stream. I think my longer streams are usually when I start a new game. I've been playing a little Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I recently beat Deus Ex Mankind, something about Mankind. I don't remember the name of it. I just beat The Devil in Me, which was a weird game. I've gotten a few games for my birthday, so if you like games and you just want to chill and have something on in the background, let me give you a little peek of what you can expect. Please hold while I attempt to make that happen. Where the baby llama's like, I'm trying to live my life, baby llama, baby llama, baby llama living life. Oh my God, while he was moving, not while he was moving, bitch. Oh my God, my nipples are so hard. Fucking melt me in butter. He's looking me in the eye. There are zombies of all genders, races, ethnicities, and sizes. Here at Dead Island 2, we don't discriminate. We don't hate. Listen, Lauren, these days it's like, this little piggy went to market. This little piggy went in your mouth. I don't have an excuse for that. That's a thing. Oh my God. What the fuck? I don't have an excuse for that. Oh my God, I broke a wall with my fist. I am sobbing. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay. So first of all, I had to come back over here and read what Purple Cat said, which was not rich white people moving to Mexico for the culture and cheapness, but yet never want to learn Spanish or don't know it. That's all right. They're sending them back. They're like, I'm sorry, you have overstayed your visa. Go back. Get on out. And the funny thing about this is they have been chill about it up until, Abbott started acting up. So now they're like, oh, well, get out. Get out. So that's what happens over on my Twitch. If you're interested in coming and hanging out, I understand if you don't want another app. That's fine. You don't have to. Just wanted to show you like what I do over there. It's messy. It's messy. It's weird. Mother's Day is here. I'm going to go spend the rest of the day with my mother. I'm also going to try to burn off this favor. Cause yeah, it's a weird time over here. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I appreciate you spending a little bit of your Mother's Day with me. Hug the mothers that you love and kick the ones you don't. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, I am so pretty and so are you. Why am I like that?